Hello and welcome to the first video of this channel, which is going to be dedicated to my journey of the carnivore diet. My name is Gary, I'm 40 years of age and I live in Ireland. For the last number of years, my health has felt like it's been declining. I've had a number of mainly gastrointestinal issues, which I really haven't had any luck resolving. In fairness, my diet has been pretty crap, a lot of fast food and takeaway, so I've decided to, something needs to change. I've been looking into the carnivore diet for a number of months now, seriously for the last 2-3 weeks, carrying out a lot of research, and what I have found is that there are a number of variants to this diet. There's nothing particularly strict about it, unless you opt for the full meat or line diet, which is essentially just eating steak seasoned with salt and drinking water. Another variant which seems to be quite popular would be just the meat eating diet, which is you can eat any kind of meat you want, as long as it's not processed meat, of course. You can also have fish in the diet. You can have animal produce such as milk, cheese, dairy essentially. So I've decided I'm going to be a little loose, a little flexible with this diet because I'm not sure which is the best to pick for myself, and that's because it's very hard to find accurate information. You can search through video after video on YouTube or other platforms and find one person saying one thing and another person saying the complete opposite. So I don't want to find myself really struggling and failing or giving up on this diet. So what I will do is focus on eating as much red meat as possible. I'll be focusing on beef, steak, minced beef, etc. I will have other meats in the diet. Ideally it'll be red meat, but I will have pork, so I'll eat I'll eat bacon, I'll eat ham, no problem. I will also allow myself to have small amounts of dairy. I love drinking cow's milk. I've drank lots and lots of milk. On average, I suppose a litre or two per day of cow's milk. So that'll be something that's going to be difficult to even cut down on. So it's February 2nd. And today is actually the second day of the carnivore diet. I did record a video yesterday, but that didn't turn out very well. It didn't render for me, so I've decided to kind of, reshoot now that I have my thoughts in a little bit more order. Getting back to the diet, as I say, stick with red meat as much as possible, have other meats, allow myself the option of having animal produce, such as cheese, yogurt, or milk, but restricting those as much as possible. So why am I choosing to undertake this crazy diet, as some people put it? Do I want to lose weight? Yeah, that'd be nice. I'm relatively happy with my weight. If I could, do this and lose 10 kilos, absolutely. But my weight isn't really something that concerns me. It's more about my general health issues. So I did make a list of those. The list was a lot longer than I expected to be when I started writing it down, and then even after I'd finished putting that list together, I found that there were other things that I'd kind of forgotten to put in there. Now I'll probably put a list of some of the ailments I've suffered, which may or may not be helped as a result of changing this diet. If I get some changes, if I get some results, fantastic. But oddly enough, I already feel like I have results. As I said, this is day 2. It's 2:30 in the afternoon, and by this time already on a Friday, and this is a long weekend, by the way, over here in Ireland. I have Monday off work, which is great, but normally I would actually be quite tired. I'd probably be asleep on the couch here behind me, but by this stage on a Friday after working a week at work. I feel like I've actually got good energy levels. That might be a placebo effect, I don't know. But that's actually one of the issues that I've been having, for a number of years. My energy levels are just quite low. When I come back from work, I feel like just, sitting down and sleeping. I find it very hard to help with the children, because I suffer not only with the tiredness but with pain, and I'll get onto that in just a moment. So just quickly going through a list of the ailments that I have, kind of going from head to toe. I'll just skip over them nice and quick here. I don't want to bore you here for a half hour talking about my ailments, but hopefully some of you who share some of these ailments, you know, might see this video and go through a few of the next ones and see if I've actually gotten some results. So I'll say it as it is. There's going to be no BS here. If I'm getting results, if I'm feeling that I'm getting results, I'll say it. I'm going to, you know, record, you know, any kind of, if there's going to be any weight loss, I'm going to record that as well. Any sizing down or sizing up, indeed, that's all going to be noted as well. This video is going to be very, very, very low tech. Just me chatting about, you know, the diet, my plans, and right now my ailments. Maybe I'll get a little bit more into video and the editing down the line. Maybe not, we'll see. So without further ado, onto the ailments. So head to toe. Last number of months, I've noticed that I'm getting sores on the top of my head, just here on the crown. I've always had, you know, light dandruff, but this is, I find that there's a buildup of dandruff here. Even though I use anti-dandruff shampoo, like, I don't know if I can even say Head and Shoulders or T-Gel, the likes of that, it does help, but it doesn't really get rid of the problem completely. Sometimes it's just irritated, it bleeds, probably got something to do with me, you know, wearing, you know, a hard hat or, you know, protective equipment at work, has probably just made that issue worse. But it's an ailment, and I've seen videos where people are saying, oh, their skin conditions have cleared up, psoriasis and acne and whatever. So maybe that's going to be a result for me too. I don't know. That's one of the ones I'm kind of banking on, if I'm honest. So let's see what happens there. Headaches I get quite regularly, usually on a weekly, if not bi-weekly basis. They're not particularly strong. They're just an uncomfortable sensation right through the head. Sometimes drinking water solves it. Sometimes eating fast food gets rid of it. And sometimes I just need to take a nap and it'll go. Other times it lingers for a couple of days and it just makes me a little bit irritable, a little bit kind of groggy. So if I can kind of get my, you know, energy levels, you know, spot on, maybe the headaches will disappear. Maybe that will just get rid of those too. If so, great. Mucus is a big one for me. Every morning, except for this morning, every morning I wake up and I feel like I'm clogged up with mucus. It is disgusting. Green, brown, yellow. It's nasty. I spend a few minutes hocking up phlegm. It's awful. Anyway, that's something I would like to see go, as well as the 3 or 4 chest infections that I get on an annual basis. So let's see what happens there. I have in the last year or so maybe experienced kind of tightness around the chest. My stamina is just, it's on the floor. I climb a flight of stairs and my breathing is not very heavy, but it's noticeable. I can feel my heart, you know, kind of struggling, beating away there, trying to, you know, keep me upright. So the reason why that is because I just don't exercise. My energy levels, my motivation is just, you know, it's on the floor. So maybe if I have more energy, I'll be more motivated to, you know, go out and walk the dog with my wife. Let's see how that works out. What else? Okay, so back pain. I was run over as a pedestrian when I was 15 years of age. A couple of years later, that developed into quite severe back pain, mid-back pain. And I suffered for, well, I still actually suffer with that, but I suffered for at least 10, right throughout my 20s anyway, where I'd spend, if my back went out, so if my back went out, I'd be about a week, sometimes 2 weeks in bed. I just couldn't function. I also was in an accident where I was in my vehicle and somebody rear-ended me, and I ended up with an L4, L5 bulging disc. It took about 1.5 years to get around to getting surgery, which I eventually had to get done privately, and I have nerve damage as a result of that, which leaves me with chronic pain apparently for the rest of my life. I'm not expecting really any change to the lower back because supposedly it's nerve damage, but I am hoping that by taking some of maybe the weight off myself, I'm weighing 110 kilos here, I'll get to my stats shortly, but maybe by losing some of that weight and exercising more and maybe building some muscle, it might just, you know, strengthen my back, improve my posture, and get rid of some of the mid back pain that isn't constant, but is regular enough. It's there a few times a month, so it's regular enough. One of the bigger issues I have, and in fact the main reason why I've decided to take on this particular diet, is gastrointestinal issues. So my digestive system in general really needs to see some improvements. I get acid reflux quite often, at least once a month, sometimes quite a bit more often than that. I find myself, you know, taking medication for that, drinking more milk, eating yogurt, staying away from anything that's even remotely spicy. And the issue goes further than the stomach, it's into my bowels, where again, on average, maybe once every 10 days, maybe not once per week, but certainly on average more often than once a fortnight, I would end up with, you know, quite bad bowel cramps and diarrhea on a regular basis. It's gotten to the stage where I carry in my wallet medication to stop diarrhea. I keep some in my car, I keep some in the medicine cabinet, I keep some in my locker at work. I have to have it on hand just in case, because it can hit me at any time, 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the evening. So I need to be prepared for that, and it's, you know, it's really, really inconvenient. The other thing is, and I suppose one final thing I would say is I have quite sensitive knees, always had, at least since from my early teens, just below the knees. I can't kneel down on a hard surface. I've always needed to use a mat. So in my job, I need to get inside machines, calibrate and repair, and I always have to have mats in there for me to kneel on. Again, this is one thing I really don't expect this diet to help, but hey, who knows? It might do something for me. Okay, just on to some stats here. I weighed myself, or rather I visited my GP a few days ago to talk about my in particular my gastrointestinal issues. Asked me usual questions, any history of such and such in the family, etc, etc. Long story short, he took my height, recorded my height and recorded my weight, and sent me to take bloods a couple of days later. So a couple of days ago I had bloods taken, about 15 vials of blood. So they're testing for a lot of things, just to rule out any serious issues, but also something for me to look at down the line when I get another set of blood tests, to see if there's much difference, if any at all, after going through this diet for hopefully at least 6 months, and ideally indefinitely, but let's see how that happens for me. So height, I'm 182 centimeters, which is 6 foot. My weight is 110 kilos. That's just under 17.5 stone, or 242 pounds. My waist, or rather the belt area, that's 101 centimeters, which is exactly 40 inches. And my midriff, so my belly button all the way around, that's 114 centimeters, which is 45 inches. So those are my stats. I'll put them down just below the video here as well, so there is a record of them, easy to find. And lastly, what I want to say is what I've actually done to prepare for this particular diet. Number one, told my wife about it. Without family support, obviously, undertaking anything like this is going to be an awful lot more challenging. So thankfully, my wife is very much on board. She would like to see my health improve, and also maybe lose those few pounds as well, I suspect. I've carried out a lot of research, as I've said, but it's very, very hard to find out what's genuine and what's not. I didn't want to get cut out, so some of the research that I found were people saying that they felt very, very violently ill when starting this diet for the first few weeks, and a lot of them said that you just need to get your electrolytes in order. So I've got these sugar-free electrolytes here, soluble in water. Put these into 500 mils of water and drink away, and keep your electrolytes level nice and high so your body can function properly. I've also ordered myself an electric mincer, which will allow me to, get chunks of meat, chop it up and mince it, make it easy to make my own burgers. It'll also mean I'll be able to get things that I really don't like the taste of, like liver or kidneys, chop a little bit of that up, put it in with some beef, mince it all up together, make burgers, and get the nutrition that I need from there. What am I having at the moment? So the first day I had a boiled egg for breakfast. I had another boiled egg when I came in from work after lunch. And then I had myself a sirloin steak. I just seared that on the pan, cooked it in butter, seasoned it 3 times with salt. Absolutely delicious, medium rare steak. And I plan on having a lot more of those as time goes on. And this morning, I also had a boiled egg. I had a little bit of bacon when I arrived at work, and another boiled egg, and that was pretty much it for work. I forgot my keys this morning, so when I came home I couldn't get into the house, and I had to go to McDonald's. So this is just one of the problems that I'm going to run into from time to time, so I need to be prepared. Now, thankfully, I was able to go into McDonald's and just order beef patties. So I got myself a double quarter pounder with cheese, but had everything taken off it, so no bun, no pickles, no anything. It was literally just the patties and cheese and some bacon on top. Not ideal, but it meant I could actually, quell my hunger and move on with the day. So I'm going to maybe once a month put up one of these videos, probably a little bit more often. I'll see how things are. If I run into an issue or have anything, really important or more urgent to report on, I'll throw up a quick video. Look, guys, I hope this helps some people. If you do have any questions, please feel free to ask. This is a first video. If even what I'm talking about is anyway helpful, or you're interested in catching up with me later, like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.